Hey guys, okay, this is like my fourth time trying to record this because I just can't get my words out properly and my thoughts out properly. Today has been a nightmare, and I'm going to explain why. But first I need to explain quickly how the benefit system works, because I know that a lot of the few people that do watch my videos are American and will not understand what I'm about to say otherwise. Basically, the way benefits work is the government gives you money if you really need it to survive, based on things like if you don't have a job and are struggling to find work, if you are unable to work for any reason, or if you need money to support you getting into work, say maybe someone who is disabled and can only work part-time because of that. I was on two different benefits because I am disabled. I have a chronic pain illness called fibromyalgia, which also causes muscle weakness, joint pain, muscle spasms, seizures, chronic fatigue, and a bunch of other symptoms that the list of symptoms that I personally have include all of the ones that I've mentioned and a lot more. It would take me way too long to go through everything properly. But basically, the ESA, which was the most amount of money that I got, I am no longer getting, because I was meant to have an appointment. The day of the appointment, I couldn't find the letter, so I rang up to ask what time the appointment was and where exactly it was meant to be. And basically their response was, it doesn't look like you have an appointment at all. We can't find anything on our system. It must either there's been a mistake or it must have been cancelled. So I went about my day as usual, thinking that everything was fine. Hey girl. And thought nothing more of it. And then the next thing I knew, I was receiving a letter saying that my ESA has been completely stopped because I didn't make it to this appointment, without any warning. Apparently they sent us a letter asking us, why we didn't arrive for the appointment, and what we were supposed to do is we were supposed to take that letter. There was supposed to be a section on it where we could write down the reason we didn't show up for the appointment and send it back. But we never received the letter, which is quite common in our street for some reason. A lot of our mail goes missing. The only time that it seems to not be the case is when we are receiving packages, but that is because a lot of the packages that we order are not delivered through the usual mail delivery system, and they tend to be a lot more careful with packages as opposed to, just letters. But either way, we didn't receive the letter, and we have now had our ESA and by extension our housing benefit removed, which means we are now going to be expected to pay more than we can afford for rent, which is going to add to our rent debt, which we got into because when we first moved into this place, we weren't given the information to be able to pay our rent for some reason for like the first 6 months, and so we're in a bit of debt with them. It's not bad, but like it will become bad if we don't get this sorted soon. We have put in for mandatory reconsideration, but unfortunately that could take 5 to 8 weeks. We have been told to apply for universal credit, which is another benefit, but it could take 5 weeks to get that sorted. So for at least the next 5 weeks, we are not going to have any money, and we are nearly out of food. we're in a really bad situation, and then after the 5 to 8 weeks, they could still refuse us our ESA, and then we would have to go through tribunal, essentially a type of court for their system. And then that could take months on end as well. So we, for as little as 5 weeks, and for as long as the rest of this year, we could have only the £200 a month that we get for PIP to live off of, for me, my boyfriend, my dog, and my cat. I know there are going to be plenty of people that are like, oh, just get rid of the animals, easy, then you'll have more money, but when you look at the amount that we spend on the animals' food, that will only save us about £15 a month. £20 a month. So it's not that worth it, and with the animals being my main coping mechanism for my PTSD and my chronic depression, getting rid of the animals is not an option for us. So that's not going to help. So before anyone tries to be helpful by suggesting that we simply get rid of our pets, sorry, but no, that's not going to work. But basically, this is something that I was thinking about doing for a while, and I was going to leave it until a little bit later to do, but I'm going to do it now. I am opening a Patreon and a Kickstarter. The Kickstarter is going to be for getting a bunch of money all at one go so I can fund my first modelling photo shoot, which will allow me to get modelling work, and having modelling work, because I can do that in my wheelchair, that's fine. I can model clothes in my wheelchair, so as far as that kind of job goes, that is, it's doable for me. Sorry, that was annoying me. Yeah, that's doable for me. So that's what the Kickstarter is for. But the Patreon will be for general living costs and YouTube. And I know that I've been really weird on YouTube for the past few years. I know I got to a point where I was regularly uploading, and then I got sick, things went to shit, and it's stayed in... I've had a zombie channel, as it would be put in Night in the Woods. It's essentially dead, but it's still somehow going all over the place. On Patreon, it will allow me to do a lot of things. The main thing that I'm going to start doing, though, is I am going to start live streaming on Twitch and then uploading that on here on a regular basis. I am sorting out a proper schedule for streaming. And, but as far as YouTube-only content, the Patreon is going to allow me to get the stuff that I need for things like the cooking videos that I've wanted to do, and the makeup tutorials. Basically, there's going to be a lot. I want to do such a varied types of content that it's just not been possible until recently. And now with the issues that we're having now, it's never going to be possible unless I find a way to fund it outside of saving up money. Because I had a plan. I had a plan for saving up for 6 months to get everything that I needed, both for my modelling and for making my YouTube videos. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen now, so I need to use Patreon for this. if you can give me anything, even if it's just $1, I will be happy. And I will eventually get to that point. But basically, this is my way of getting myself to a point where I do not need to completely rely on the benefits system, which has constantly screwed me around, telling me that I'm not actually eligible for benefits that I am eligible for, telling me that I do not fit the criteria for certain benefits, even though it turns out a year later that I actually was, and that they actually just lied on my assessment, because unfortunately that's what a lot of the assessors are being told to do now. I have been told that I do have appointments when I don't. I've been told I don't have appointments when I do. And as much as the benefit system does help a lot of people, it is extremely flawed, because the lengths that they now go to prevent people who don't need it from getting benefits, it is actually pushing out a lot of people that desperately need benefits and putting them in a situation where they can't get them. And basically my aim is to get myself to a point through Patreon that I do not need to rely completely on the benefit system. On both my Kickstarter and my Patreon, I will be 100% clear and honest with everybody. I will let everybody know exactly what the money is going on, and why, what kind of things it will be allowing me to do, what kind of videos I want to do with that money, and what kind of things I'll be doing on my photo shoots as well, on both of those. Sorry, and my face is all itchy because I've been crying for like the past 2 hours. So as much as I hate asking for help like this, I don't have a choice anymore. I feel like I am either gonna be expected. I feel like I'm either gonna be expected to starve and just spend all of the money that I have on my rent, and that's it. Or I can do this and try to get myself to a point where I will be able to just I don't know, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Basically, I want to start making videos, and I want to start streaming, and I want to start doing all these awesome things, but I need help first. And it's devastating that I have to do it this way, because I was hoping that I could just make a Patreon and just ask for, a little bit of money from a few people to, get my more expensive projects off the ground, and, ask for just a little bit of money so I can pay for a photographer, and then everything else I'd be able to pay for myself for my modelling photo shoot. But unfortunately, I have been put in this position, and I don't want to give up on everything. I don't want to give up on my life. But for between now and the end of the year, it's all completely an unknown. It's all uncertainty. I don't know what to do. And it's especially upsetting because on Friday it's going to be Comic Relief, which is a big charity event in the UK run by the BBC. And my camera has stopped working. For God's sake. Hold on. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it like that, because whatever. If you guys can't see my face anymore, it doesn't matter. Basically, those are all of the things. I shouldn't have shouted like that. My throat hurts enough after crying. Basically, I have all of these ideas, and I just need a bit of help. If anybody can give anything, and there will be plenty of benefits to those that do become a Patreon. There are a patron on Patreon. There are plenty of benefits that I am planning for those that donate on Kickstarter too. Oh yeah, what I was saying. It's especially upsetting because Red Nose Day or Comic Relief is on Friday. On Friday, me and Max, we are still going to do this, but we were going to do a live stream. And we were planning on donating at least some money towards it ourselves as well, so we could give something personally to Comic Relief, because they help so many people all over the UK and sometimes even in other countries that really need it. But now we've been put in this situation, so we are not going to be able to donate anything ourselves, but we will still be doing a live stream tomorrow, not tomorrow, on Friday, and we will be raising money for Red Nose Day. So if anyone wants to watch that on Twitch, I will be putting a link to my Twitch account down below. But yeah, basically any sort of help from anybody for us will be I can't even put into words what it would mean to us to be able to get into a situation where we don't have to rely on this messed up system anymore. As much as it is great and as much as it does help, it hasn't helped us in the right way. It has made everything so much more difficult and so stressful. And I'm glad that the benefit system exists, but not the way it's working right now. And yeah, we need help. If you or anyone that you know can donate even a single dollar or a single pound if you live in the UK, it will mean the world to us, and it will mean a lot coming from me and my boyfriend here and on Twitch. So yeah, thank you for watching this video, and thank you for considering helping us. It means a lot, and I will see you guys later. I'm probably going to be streaming on Twitch later today, so that a video of that will be up on YouTube by tomorrow. Yeah, thank you guys, bye.